Could I ask why are you and Eddie not in a good spot right now?
It's very different people, man. Like we're just like part of it is just I don't think a little bit like oil and water. Honestly, we're just very different people, and a lot of it is like I'm not, it's easy to be like a good guy when you're sort of struggling and you need friends, and it's harder to be a good guy when you're spending other people's money and sitting on the top of a sort of an ivory tower and earning. I mean, look, this guy has the benefit of making crazy amounts of money while his partner, streaming service, has lost billions in recent years, and he still has the kind of deal that allows him to thrive, even if the partner he has isn't so much thriving. And it's very difficult. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's totally a closed shop at the Zone. It's not. I'm not saying that. It's mostly a closed shop. And Eddie is absolutely the king of the Zone boxing, the face of it, the king of it. It's his little empire. Harder to be a good guy when you're controlling your own little empire. And honestly, I don't think he does such a great job at that. I think and I also think that he's very, very interested in building his. It's about his face, his brand. I mean, dude, just go and look at face-offs of fights. And fucking, honestly, the fighter looks like a little fucking dot on each side, and there's Eddie in the middle. And, it's reminiscent to me a little bit of how Don King promoted at the top of his game in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, where, he correctly believed that he was a bigger star than most of his fighters. And I think if you go to Eddie's persona, as an influencer too, his status as an influencer and his ability to dominate boxing press in the UK, it's very much about him being a bigger star than most of his fighters.
Wow. Those are the words of Lou Dibella in regards to Eddie Hearn. Where do I begin? I think that Lou Dibella has totally different mindset of Eddie Hearn, obviously. He explained the difference between himself and Eddie briefly. I would like to go into it. I think Lou Dibella is a lot older than Eddie Hearn, maybe 16, 17 years. I think Lou Dibella's maybe early 60s, and Eddie's early 40s, just turned 43 like a couple weeks ago. And I think that him comparing Eddie Hearn to Don King is interesting, okay, because the interest factor is how Eddie promotes fights. He does it in his own swaggish European type of way versus Don King in his own upbeat American uptown type of way. And him saying the fighters look small and he's big in the middle. I think Eddie Hearn just has a passion, just like Don King did, for what he does. I think that he likes being in the limelight, no doubt. He likes to talk about the fighters, but in essence, amplify himself, and by talking about the fighters, he's expressing himself through the fighters. He's expressing himself. I would agree with that. And Eddie himself said, Don King was the man. The way he used to promote fights was absolutely brilliant. So you'd think a younger guy like that didn't absorb and sponge up what the promoters of yesteryear did. See, Bob Arum didn't have that type of style like Don King. Don King and Bob Arum were just, that was Nike versus Reebok. Okay, that was those two promoters. If you were Don King Promotions or top ranked promotions, you were at the top, no doubt about it. So him promoting him, I would think he was more like really a fusion between Bob Arum and Don King, because he does do things that is charismatic. Unlike Bob, Bob's just gonna, hello, I'm showing you guys Trinidad versus Bernard Hopkins, shit like that, or Oscar De La Hoya versus Floyd Mayweather. You know, it's always like that. It's never like, you know, like Eddie singing along, singing a song, Don King's All in America, baby. I would say that he is like, he has qualities of both because he can be kind of natural, calm, and cordial. Whereas Don King's over the top, but then there is times when Eddie Hearn is over the top more than he's been. You can see his interest spikes and, you know, the type of things as he does. And I would agree with that also. But as far as like the business wise, Dibella knows more than me. I think he should have dove more into it. You know, I'm always a guy of examples. When you tell me something, I want examples. Don't just tell me something and expect me to believe you when you don't show me examples, like honest facts about what the hell you're actually trying to convince me that you're talking about. That's with anything. So when someone says, hey, I think this is that way, okay, give me an example. Why you think this is that way? So that's me. But I think this really started where Eddie Hearn started talking about Kambosos because Eddie lost Devin Haney to Top Rank, and a piece of that belonged to Lou Dibella. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Lou Dibella's take on Eddie Hearn. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.